I'm Tina Liu, Professor of Chinese Literature at Yale University.
And my name is Michael Hunter, and I'm an Assistant Professor of Chinese Literature at Yale University. And we've put together this informal slideshow to demonstrate the concept for a project that we're calling the 10,000 Rooms Project.
The 8th century poet Du Fu imagined his 10,000 rooms as a haven for the world scholars, and we conceive of this platform as being the 21st century digital version of that.
And to show you what we mean by that, we're going to walk you through a few of the sources that we think would be able to be handled by this online platform.
What you see here is a PDF of a page from a 19th century edition of The Story of the Stone, one of the most famous of Chinese pre-modern novels. And you can get a sense of the multi-layered nature of many pre-modern sources. This is the main text in yellow, and in blue you see what is often called meipi or eyebrow commentary, and in pink you see what is often called jiapi or interlinear commentary. Our platform would enable you to transcribe the source, translate it in another window, transcribe the commentary, and translate the commentary in yet another window.
So what we're imagining is a platform that would allow us to handle all the different layers that we find in these complex multi-layered texts. In addition to the eyebrow commentary, we're also imagining a tool that would allow us to transcribe and also translate pinpoint commentary. So commentary that is tied to specific lines or words or phrases in the text. And not only would this tool allow us to handle these multi-layered texts, but they'd also allow us to compare multiple editions of pre-modern sources.
Despite the fact that The Story of the Stone is perhaps the single most important pre-modern novel, there doesn't exist a single variorum edition. That's because there are 12 or 13 important manuscript editions. There are another dozen or so important 19th century woodblock editions. And right now the only way that a person has to compare these is by laying out books on his or her desk. This would be a tool that would take the place of that desk and allow the transcription in comparison of different editions.
What you're looking at now is a screenshot of the software platform that is currently being developed at Stanford University. It has a number of names, the Canvas Viewer or the Shared Canvas, or more recently Mirador. That is a tool that was developed in order for scholars of medieval Europe to be able to compare multiple manuscript editions of various texts. So it's a very powerful tool for allowing users to call up multiple images of the same manuscript or any manuscript or print edition really, and to be able to compare them in a dynamic way. Here's another screenshot. Now, in future development of this tool, the developers at Stanford are going to be adding annotation functionality so that on either side of these image windows, you'd be able to transcribe the text that you see and also add any annotations on that text. And as I hope you can get a sense of here, it's a very powerful tool for navigating among lots and lots of different pages of many different kinds of manuscripts. And so this is the core architecture upon which we're going to be basing the 10,000 Rooms software.
So there are reams of photo reprints in any top-notch university library, and there are also a lot of photo reprints of manuscript editions, even as late as the 19th and early 20th century. And one of the functions that we imagine is that we'll be able to crowdsource some of the core philological work involved in dealing with this enormous volume of text. So for example, here you see a handwritten version of Zheng Guofan's diary from the 19th century. It's not punctuated. It's in fairly clear handwriting, but there could still be differences of opinion for certain of the characters. And this is the sort of thing where one could easily imagine crowdsourced transcription, translation into French, Chinese, English, whatever language you have in mind.
Moving on now, we'd like to show you an entirely different kind of source. This is a single bamboo strip from a bamboo manuscript find. It's actually a looted find. It was purchased on the Hong Kong antiquities market by the Shanghai Museum in the early 1990s. As I say, this is a single bamboo strip, and it comes from a text that the editors of that find have labeled Confucius on the Odes, or Kongzi Shiluan. So to give you an idea of the power of this platform as we're imagining it, we'd also like this platform to be able to handle materials, not just later print editions, but also some of the earliest epigraphic materials, which present some more interesting problems with respect to orthography, with respect to how we actually interpret the characters we find on these texts. So for this kind of text, you can imagine a two-step transcription process. On the first stage, you would imagine a diplomatic transcription, so trying to represent as accurately as possible what the characters on the bamboo strips are. And at a second stage, you would have a normalized transcription. So this is how you'd write the text if it had been composed in the modern period. So to give you an idea of what that might look like, you can see here I've drawn a red box around two characters at the top of the middle bamboo strip. This is actually a single bamboo strip. It's just been cut up into pieces using Photoshop because it's too long to represent on a single page. So this is all just a single bamboo strip. And if you represent this part of the text as accurately as possible, it would look something like this, as you see in the first column. Then in the second column, the normalized transcription, this actually gets written as Kongzi Yue, if you were to pronounce it in Mandarin. And then at a third step, the translation, it would translate as Confucius says. Now, one of the great features of the software platform that we're going to be basing the 10,000 rooms on is that it would allow users to actually annotate images, to draw circles or squares or any other kind of shape around a section of an image in order to annotate it. And using this kind of tool, I think it'd be very powerful also for these ancient bamboo materials from this find is dated to roughly 300 BCE. That are actually rather difficult to transcribe.
These are just three sources out of really untold numbers of sources that one could use on this platform. And these are three small projects, again, that are just small examples from a large number of projects that one could conceive of as being suitable for this platform, for crowdsourcing, for group work, or for even just publishing core philological work.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.